Hey everybody, Matthew Solomon here, and hope you're all doing well. I'm in week 2 right now of my group program, Love the Fuck Out of Yourself, and there have been some amazing things coming up, and I wanted to share some of the stuff that's really been lighting people up, which has been awesome. Labels, labeling ourselves, labeling people, and why I don't do that. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a coach. I coach people one-on-one. I have group programs. I also do sacred, safe space healing around intimacy and sex and relationships. I'll coach you on whatever it is that you want to experience in your life, whether it's career, relationships, whatever. I'm also a single father of 3 and an award-winning filmmaker. I put all this stuff to use all the time. So, labels. Yeah, we did this exercise where, I had everybody write down, how do you view yourself? What do you think of yourself? And, some of the stuff that came up was, I'm boring, I'm lazy, I procrastinate. Then there was the other stuff, I'm funny, I'm sarcastic, I get things done, I'm successful, right? And so the thing is, we all have these things that we see about ourselves, and we have that duality. Like, I might think of myself as boring, but I'm really funny. So in any given moment, I'm choosing to see myself in a certain way. Now, the thing is, like, if we're focusing on I'm funny, I'm successful, I'm happy, I'm joyous, I'm wealthy, I'm all of that. If that's where your focus is at, then most likely you're probably doing pretty good. And for most of us, we're not there the majority of the time. We're on the other side, cutting ourselves down, justifying stuff so we don't feel bad, or making ourselves feel bad with a label. So, like, for me, one of my big things, growing up, like, my dad, I remember, would say that he had hang-ups. So then I was like, I have hang-ups. And so I had hang-ups. And then I had insecurities. And then I had issues. And then I was quiet Matty. And I would go out with, my group of friends in my 20s, and most of that group were these loud East Coast Italian guys who grew up together, who had all these stories, and there wasn't, like, I would just sit and listen and interject here and there, but I wasn't, I just remembered something, but I wasn't somebody who would interrupt. And so I couldn't get into that flow of conversation. So I would sit and listen and be entertained. And then my friend Sarah, who was dating one of the guys, would turn to me and she'd be like, "Hey, have you said anything in the last 20 minutes?" And then they'd all look at me and laugh, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I said something." And she and I are really good friends now. And at the time, we, kind of didn't like each other. Well, we liked each other, but whatever. Anyway, the thing that I remembered was a group of my mom's friends sitting and talking, and just chatting, and one of them kept trying to interject, and she would start to say something, but nobody would respond, and so she would shut herself down. She would try and interject, and she would shut herself down. I saw the look on her face. And so for me as a kid, interpreting all of this, it's like, don't even try and interrupt, because nobody's gonna listen, and I'm gonna feel like shit. So I was labeled as shy, quiet, reserved. When, my mom will tell you, as a child, I was very talkative. So labels. So what I got was, in doing a lot of my own work and internal work, and then coaching people, and I did a seminar, Landmark Forum, where there's 150 of us in a room for a weekend, and it's super successful business people, well-known actors, filmmakers, housewives, house husbands, people who are unemployed, like every single walk of life, and we all had issues. We were all unhappy about something. We all had relationships that weren't working the way we wanted them to. We all had judgments about ourselves, each other, our parents, our partners, whatever. And through the course of the weekend, what most of us got, but what I got was, we're all doing the same thing. We're all afraid on some level. We're all insecure on some level. We all have stuff that triggers us. We all have, judgments. Like one of the things was, having done therapy and stuff, and it's like, oh, well, I'm this way because of my parents, because they were overprotective or whatever. And so I remember, one day we were sitting in the forum, and they're going around the room, and they have everybody who's between the ages of 18 and 24 stand up. And they're like, what are you dealing with in your life? And it's like, I want to go to college. I don't know if I can afford college. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I want to, get married, but I haven't met it. Like all this stuff that people between the ages of 18 and 24 are dealing with. And then they're like, all right, all these people and what they're dealing with, these were your parents. So I was a parent at that point. I knew my kids didn't come with a rule book, but I didn't come with the rule book. My parents were dealing with all the stuff that they were dealing with, and no rule book. And here I come, and they did and still do the best that they can from a place of love, from wanting the best for me, from wanting to do the best job that they can, because Lord knows, like, I want to do the best job I can, and some days it's hard. And I've made mistakes. So the judgments I had on them gone. I'm not like this because of my parents. I'm like who I am because of me, because I experienced things and interpreted things and made choices to, survive life. And now as an adult, I'm making choices to thrive. And that's a choice, because some days it's easier to survive. So labels, when you label somebody as an asshole, maybe they are, maybe they're not, maybe they're just doing what they do. The whole thing, I'm boring, I just like to sit at home. Maybe you just don't need to be around people right now. I'll go to a party and I'm happy to be there and talk, and if I'm starting to feel like, it's time to go home, I just go home. Whereas in the past I would have been like, I wish I was more outgoing, or I wish I, had more to say, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not charismatic enough, or, if I was this friend, I would be talking up the whole room and all, fuck that. You get to be whoever you are right now. And there's nothing wrong with you. And when we start accepting ourselves, when you start accepting yourself for who you are, just being like, this is what I want to do right now, or this is not what I want to do right now. This is who I want to talk to right now. This is not who I want to talk to right now. That's when you start getting that breathing room and the walls come down and you can actually contribute, which I believe we all want to do anyway. It's just harder for some of us than others, and that's okay. So labels, stop it. Stop using labels. We don't need labels. Labels put us in a box. And like I always say, who's in a box? Dead people. You put somebody in a box, they can't get out. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm available. I have a thing on my website, Ask DJ Matty. You can ask me questions. I'll respond with a video. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have an opportunity to work with you one-on-one or in a group program. Check me out at coachwithmatthewsolomon.com. Thank you so much.